Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice! Amazing crowd, really, absolutely amazing crowd. But I do want to say a very quick word to all of the people that turned up today that are currently outside the Spodek. There is a giant screen been erected with the audio. I just wanted to say hi to everyone that's outside right now in the cold. Thank you so much for turning up. I'm sorry you weren't able to get in. But if you cheer loud enough right now, we might hear you in here.
Pozdrawiam wszystkich, którzy są na zewnątrz Spodka. Bardzo nam przykro, że nie udało się wam wejść. Trzymajcie się ciepło, wiemy, że są tam koksowniki, więc mamy nadzieję, że przynajmniej chociaż troszeczkę się od tym ogrzewacie. Grzeją nas wasze emocje, a nasze emocje grzeją was.
Okay, it's time to get on another League of Legends match in this second group. You've already seen both these teams already. They are going head to head really for the group. Let's see who comes out on top. First out on stage. Please make some noise for fnatic Reiko!
I zapraszamy na scenę zespół, który wszyscy znacie, fnatic Reiko!
They're not going anywhere this time, they're staying with us. They go up against a formidable force who have been absolutely fantastic. Some are even saying this is the year of the Koreans. Please welcome to the stage, Azubu Frost!
A teraz z drugiej strony świata, prosto z Korei, zespół, który ma duże szanse na zwycięstwo, Azubu Frost!
Okay, we're going to grab a very, very quick word with both team captains just to start off with. Alex Peke, easy first game perhaps, but this one's a different game.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game, really intense, really cool to watch, and hopefully we can give our best in it.
But best of luck to you.
Will you win? Will you win?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, fnatic versus Azubu Frost. Very much good luck to both of you. Have a great game and enjoy it. We'll send this over to the analyst desk now with our lovely experts.
Thank you, Paul. I am so excited for this match. This has to be a good one. We have Azubu Frost, we have fnatic. Both teams amazing, pretty much top teams in their region. Guys, how amazing is this match going to be?
I hope very amazing. It's extremely hard to predict what's going to happen with the bans and picks and what's happening in-game. And fnatic looked extremely strong, Azubu Frost looked extremely strong, so it might be a really good game.
We obviously we know it's going to be exciting. We know it's going to be awesome. We asked fnatic before the game, like, all right, guys, what are you going to do? What have you got in mind? They went, okay, we've been training. We've said all the way from the start they've been boot camping for next weekend, but they have promised us they have something up their sleeve just for Frost. So not everything they had was for next weekend. What it's going to be, no idea yet. They did say, however, most of our predictions for bans are probably going to be wrong, because it's going to seem very random, but they do assure us they are targeted.
So they're going to ban Karma. I'm going to go on a limb and say that one, because
Karma, Heimerdinger, and Rammus bans.
There you go. All right, well, we do have a lot at stake here, because the winner of this match will be first place in the group stage at the moment. Yeah. There'll be one more game, obviously, right after that. But, you know, we need to see fnatic, as you see in the groups right there. I mean, Frost, fnatic both tied at the moment. fnatic took down Absolute Legends, and Frost took out SK Gaming. And, I mean, Frost, I mean, they were looking very solid. They've been playing OGN for weeks now, you know, currently in the finals of that. I mean, they played very well against SK, and SK is not a pushover.
No. Not sure, like, Frost has a lot of practice right now. They're in the final of OGN, so yeah, they are top contenders for this tournament, and if fnatic wins this, it's, in my opinion, a major upset.
I'm going to agree. It's an upset. It's not particularly huge, but it's an upset. We saw fnatic do incredibly well at IPL 5, all the way to the final, taking second place to World Elite, taking down TPA twice in both the group stage and then in the later stages thanks to the upper and lower bracket system, taking down Azubu Blaze's sister team here over Azubu Frost. So, I mean, there is, as I said before, there's a sense of pride, a sense of honor here from Frost. They've got to try and fight back the honor of their sister team. They've got to try and shut down this fnatic lineup. It is slightly changed. It is now Yellow Star, it's not Reckless, But as we mentioned again before, he's a very, very strong player. He's been around for a long time. And if Fnatic have something hidden up their sleeve, something they've trained specifically for Frost, Frost really are going to have their work cut out. We've seen them do that time and time again. When Fnatic research a team, when Fnatic train to take down one lineup, they destroy people. So Frost are going to have to think on their feet.
I agree, especially because they said they're going to do interesting target bans and have a specific strategy laid down. Those are almost like the most interesting games, because it's not going to be a standard game. Fnatic has a plan, and we will be able to see if they manage to pull it through or if it fails against Frost.
Yeah, exactly. And as I mentioned there's the picks and bans. That's a great timing. So,
since we can't guess the Fnatic bans, obviously, since they were saying they're really going to be crazy, what do you think we're going to see out of Frost?
In every game against Azubu Blaze and OGN, they banned Shen and Eve on purple side. So I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna see in this game as well. And since N-rated is new,
they're like, oh, we're gonna do some crazy bans. Ban Shen. Yes, that is as crazy as you can get here.
Yeah,
extremely crazy.
To be honest, I'll admit I did speak to N-rated of the 5. He has been known to troll a little bit, so it may have all been made
He
up.
might be kind of Ghost Peppers level, a little bit.
Troll, yeah. Check out Nunu coming out of Azubu, nothing too crazy there. Nunu's been banned a couple of times throughout the tournament now. He has a very strong support, and as Cyanide showed us in their last game, can still be played in the jungle to quite some effect. That double support role, so to speak, so it was a little bit richer than normal, but he started to build a Sight Stone, he started to build an Aegis, and just added that Blood Boil into the mix for nothing much else.
If the next ban is going to be Kha'Zix, I'm going to have a serious talk with N-rated.
They have taken Azubu's ban so far, so good. They're taking that Shen and Evelyn. Lee Sin banned then by Azubu. We didn't really see him so much at all yesterday, but today he's really kind of reared his ugly head again.
Yeah, but Cyanide, I mean, he's a great Lee Sin.
He is.
And especially with how amazing he is at Baron steals, he's probably the best in my mind at stealing that Baron away. Lee Sin is probably one of the easiest champions to do that.
Also, Soas plays a really good Lee Sin on top lane. Okay.
Those were not crazy bans.
Not crazy
I'm well
bans.
disappointed. Because we did see Twisted Fate actually played earlier by Rapstar in that middle lane. We know Rapstar has a good Evelyn as well, so picks now. Shy left open, and as you see right there, that Olaf. Not a good sign.
Olaf picked over Kha'Zix is pretty interesting.
Not a complete surprise either from what we've seen throughout the tournament. We've seen more Olaf first picks than Kha'Zix so far, but that being said, as we said, Kha'Zix has been in every game yesterday.
Yeah.
He hasn't been banned, so that was a Jesse's picks, and there it is. So as of all people, he made this champion. He brought him to that top lane, showed him to competitive play.
Yeah.
And if he's been doing nothing but training since, everyone else has caught up to his level, so to speak, to this point. He started at that level, he made it. What can he do now? I'm expecting some crazy stuff out of him.
No, that can't be an actual pick because Vi is globally banned for this tournament. Can't really
I was
sit on
already
that.
excited.
But no, we do have the Moon. We're going to be locked in now, and a Tarek. We have not seen very much Tarek this tournament.
No, it's interesting to see what they're going to run with him too, because he's got a niche little selection of AD carries that he can work with. He also, we saw in fact, Dignitas try at the World Finals, tried a very old school strategy of roaming Tarek, so he didn't actually stay so much in the bottom lane at all. I think they put Caitlyn or someone down there, Caitlyn or Ezreal, someone that can 2v1 very well. Corki could do the same, not so much now, but 2v1 down in the bottom lane, not so bad. Allow him to roam, gank, go with the jungler, so they have 3-man ganks in the mid lane, something crazy like that. So there is that possibility. They do have, however, have a Mumu, so he's a pretty strong ganker on his own. They might not necessarily need that roam. But we are seeing something a little bit different coming out from Fnatic. Now, this is our first job of the tournament.
Our first job? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
So yeah, and I know Sana's actually.
Oh no, actually we had any job.
Yes, sir, we had Annie. No, that was OGN.
that was-
OGN had Annie Jarvan. We were watching it on this desk,
Yeah,
but it was OGN.
Well, we have seen Jarvan, actually Sana's been practicing quite a bit in the jungle.
Yeah.
And also, back in the day, Goose, I don't know if you remember that, but they actually coined Leona Jarvan bot lane. Obviously, probably not
Yeah.
going to see it here as we do have that misfortune, but
Jarvan is also really strong on mid lane right now.
oh, we've seen this out of Frost before. That Tarek Urgot, they've been really pushing that OGN.
Yep.
That's something very new. And it's if Rapistar keep their summons, it's a teleport rise too, so that's a very scary bot lane all of a sudden. It's a lot of crowd control. That swap, that suppress, followed by the stun, with the teleporting rise in with his snare and a lot of damage. And we mentioned again early on yesterday, these new items, the amount of new mana possibilities, mirror mana in there too. Rise is really, really strong now.
All right, well, we do have last pick for Fnatic here. What do you think they're going to go with?
They said it's gonna be something crazy, so it's hard to predict. I think Wukong or okay.
It's going to be something crazy. It's going to be AP Ezreal like we saw earlier.
Okay.
All right, well, guys, we have two comps now locked in. We have Azubu, Frost, such a tanky lineup with that Olaf, with that Nunu, Ryze, Urgot, and Taric. And then on Fnatic's side, we have so much damage. We have a pretty good amount of CC out of Leona, obviously not as much as Frost here, but who do you think really has this game? It's high damage versus extremely tanky.
I think if Fnatic manages to execute it correctly, especially around mid lane, with Eastwill Jarvan being very good against Ryze, I think they might go into the mid game with the upper hand and snowball it down.
I really like this Fnatic lineup. It's a little bit different to normal. It's not quite, as we said, your Amumu CC, your Wukong CC, or your Zyra CC. They still got big AoE lock-in ability from Jarvan. Okay. Oh god, I've locked myself in here with 4 members of Azubu Frost. I'm ruined. No way, Leona has an ultimate that fits nicely in this little circle, and everyone is suddenly stuck and stunned. And Misfortune channeling her ultimate across the top. And Soaz has just leapt in here and joined me, and he's done a massive amount of AoE damage before anyone's really responded. Then Ezreal across the top, and suddenly Peke's got his W, his Essence Flux over the top as well. And all these 4 members in here are currently quite low and squishy, and there's Jarvan stuck in there with them, with Kha'Zix in there with them too, and they're still stuck in there, because that's a pretty long duration on that giant rock wall, so to speak.
Well, I hope I hear the casters actually say, I'm Jarvan, I'm helping one moment in here, because that is hilarious to see with the Cataclysm. But real quick, who's going to win this game?
I would give it to Fnatic.
All right, we have one Fnatic, and?
I still have to stick with the Azubu Frost, to be completely honest. They have a very tanky lineup, they have a lot of experience, and that's very strong.
All right, we're tied 1-1 here. Let's go over to the casters. We have Joe Miller and Jat.
So here we go then, Azubu Frost versus Fnatic. Great call it, Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Jack, let's see your thoughts on these 2 lineups.
This is very interesting level 1 because they ran out. I love the fact that Fnatic took Kha'Zix away from Azubu. If you remember, Soaz is actually the first one who debuted Kha'Zix back in Season 2 at IPL 5, so they're going to have a lot of experience on this. I really love how violent this game is going to be. Azubu's team comp just crashes in, and Fnatic's not really going to have much either because Leona and Jarvan both dive in as well, so these team fights are going to be incredibly chaotic.
Well, right now we can see there Azubu just getting their 1 single ward down up till now here in the corner bush. Fnatic had already warded that, so they knew that Azubu were in there and that they went out after that one. They'll also know, if they were keeping their eye on it at least, that that ward was put right down in top of that. We can see the pings furiously coming down here from Azubu's side on their bottom side of the jungle. They've now seen PK's position, they've seen Enrated's position, and they are waiting in this river bush. The question is, will they go anything for anything in this one? Let's not forget, both teams here are 1-0 in the group, so everything's still to play for all the way down the line. But Jack, who's your favorite for this game? I mean, Fnatic, we talked about whether they're going to be showing too much into this one. Azubu Frost are on form.
It's really a matter of how much Fnatic wants to go at it. I feel like the illusion of holding back in a tournament because you have another big one coming up is a little overplayed. I feel like they've said coming in that they're, oh, we're going to show 50% of our stuff. They should show all their stuff because getting practice or the confidence of beating a team like Azubu Frost would carry them through the LCS qualifier, European qualifiers that are going to happen next week. So I feel like Fnatic is going to be going all out in this one, and with the picks like Kha'Zix and the really effective AP Ezreal mid, I feel like they're on point to do that.
Yeah, of course, we've already seen PK play that one earlier on in the tournament in their first victory of the day against Absolute Legends. We'll see how he goes up this time against Ryze in the middle. And we can see Shy and Soaz going at it. Actually, Shy does hit level 2 before Soaz, and I'm almost half a level in front of him there as well. Meanwhile, down at the bottom, we are seeing the stun coming down on towards Madlife. Actually, Yellowstar going very, very low here. Flash coming in there. Yes, he's on to first blood for Azubu Blade. Frost, damn it.
Pulling a red eye right there. But Woong and Madlife crushing them early on. Urgot normally does that once he hits level 6. Getting that at level 2 is crazy effective for them. Misfortune is so good if she can hold her position and channel, but with how much just power and force this entire Azubu Frost combination is going to have, especially the bottom lane of Urgot Taric, that's trouble.
Great little start here for the Koreans. And Red Eye said, Year of the Koreans. Well, Certainly could be. It's only the beginning of the year, but that means a long way to go in it. But up until now, you know, they are looking so
may still
very,
be in
very
January.
strong.
All the games that have been super competitive so far this year has mostly been the OGN winner. So we're going to see if this is the year of the Koreans, in all honesty, but early start, you're absolutely right about that.
Right now, Azubu just pushing that lane out in the bottom. You can see that in the top lane as well, after that little gank that Amumu came in with the level advantage that Shy has here over Soaz. I mean, he's well into level 4 at this point. Soaz has only just turned level 3. Soaz with 10 CS to the 24 of Olaf. You can see there the damage, 1 undertow, 1 reckless swing, it's a lot.
And Shy actually played this exact matchup against Kevin earlier on, but it was flipped with Shy on Kha'Zix as well. And he actually beat Kevin with Kha'Zix over Olaf, but this is kind of the matchup. Olaf should have a bit of an edge on here, and Shy's playing it like it should be.
Soaz hanging right back on this one, doesn't want to be going low once again. Mid lane, pretty much bang even on the CS, 27 to 25 in favor of XPK there on his Ezreal. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Amumu is going to be waiting around here. Cloud Templar with that double buff still running on him. The question is, can he get in onto N-rated?
Cyanide actually used his flagpole to jump over the buff, and there's a gank bottom as well, going to be one top.
They're coming in here, N-rated going to be the one that takes the initial damage. Exhaust comes down. Can they finish N-rated off? Yes, they will. Yellow Star will get away. Have a look towards the top. They didn't quite manage to pin down Shy, but that will be 2-0 in favor of Azubu, and the second kill went to Urgot again.
Top lane, they burned the Ignite, but the bottom lane gank was just so well repelled / set up for Azubu. Templar getting into that brush and just camping it. Surprising that they weren't able to get the wards down, but now Shy has no flash, still able to get away though.
Still able to get away. That was a clever loop around from Cyanide, came straight back in via that bush as Yellow Star here down in the bottom lane. He's going to be under so much pressure. Look at that damage here from Wu. Flashes in there, gets another one, killing spree Urgot.
Rushed the Brutalizer, and getting it that early is just so much pain. It's a little brutal. And honestly, look at this. He's got right now 25 armor penetration, so he's went armor pen runes on Urgot. Tarek also reduces enemy armor by 15, so that's 40 armor down on Yellow Star. True damage. He's only got 39 armor right now on Misfortune, so that is one of the reasons they are destroying that lane so well.
XPK in a lot of trouble. Bandage toss comes around. Have they got the damage to finish off though? No, they won't. XPK will poke them back as they have to back away there. And well, it was the arcade shift that really kept him safe from that one. But again, good positioning, good you know, communication, I'd say, from Azubu Blaze to lock that one down.
Fnatic's gonna have to really just gain control of this game again, because in their match earlier against Absolute Legends, it was the teamfight phase that really closed it for them. It looked close at the start, and then Fnatic really came through in teamfights. But if it keeps going like this against Azubu, they're never even going to get there because they're losing bad right now.
Olaf has gone back here and picked up that Giant's belt early on. Obviously, did have a good CS lead, still does, in fact. But that has been closed now from Soaz on this Kha'Zix. He's finally got himself back up almost towards 40 to the 48 that currently we have for Shy. But that Giant's belt, we know once Olaf gets that, it's not easy to take him down, to say the least. But in terms of the levels there, Soaz has actually caught right back up to him. In fact, they're pretty much bang even according to my screen there as well. So that's good stuff from that side, as we are going to see actually the teleport coming down here on towards Yellow Star. They're going to turn away, go down towards N-rated. He's in all kinds of trouble. He's going to head up towards that Tribush. Mad Life coming around the side. The Q's connecting here from Woong. He needs one more. That doesn't quite land. Rapid Star, though, will mop up this one. And that is one for the AP mid here. And that will be 4-0 overall.
That bottom lane is really just a pile of pain for Fnatic right now. Don't know what they're going to do against Woong and Mad Life. And to get back to that top lane, the only reason Soaz was able to come back a little bit in that lane is because Cyanide focused ganks up top, but they can't really afford to do that with how bad Yellow Star and N-rated are losing.
Yeah, 3-0-1 now for Urgot. 54 to 22 CS. That is an incredible start for him, without even talking about those kills in there as well. Items, as we said before, Brutalizer, basically doing true damage in there as well. Misfortune now has a Doran's Blade in there, as well as those tier 1 boots.
And Woong's got his ultimate up as well, so Yellow Star can't get close. It's a matter of one either flash stun for Mad Life and Yellowstar would be dead. It's a pretty tough initiation. Yellowstar just coming in recently, replacing Reckless, who was too young to play in the Season 3 League Championship Series, so they're replacing him with Yellowstar for this. This is not a good start for him.
Not the best start. That is definitely a true statement in there. Tariq with those 3 assists in as well. He must have running up towards 900 gold right now. He's already been back and picked himself up those boots as well. So Mad Life certainly enjoying the benefits of helping out with those initial kills in that bottom lane. Rise 1 for 0, got that Catalyst Protector plus a tier in there with the boots, plus the usual assortment of the flask and biscuit and what have you.
You can really see here Yellowstar and N-Rated gave up. They're farming wolves. They are not wanting to deal with Mad Life and Wound whatsoever. This is probably the right call for them at this point to stay away, but it really just shows how terrible that lane has become.
And we can see there Rapid Star pretty much bossing PK around there. We are going to see Cloud Templar coming around. There's a big wave of minions, which is why Rapid Star didn't want to really fight in that one. PK actually will get away safe from that. But just to touch again, if we didn't already enough on this bottom lane, look at Yellowstar, level 4, Womb level 7. That is a huge difference, as if Womb wasn't already powerful enough with how this one's all gone down. Mad Life there just getting stunned up underneath the turret, but Azubu, they don't really have anything to be worried about in this bottom lane.
Maybe they could potentially get baited. Cyanide's coming down for a gank, and the only way they maybe come back in this lane is if they try to dive and they turn it around, but they're actually not taking the bait. They're just slowly keeping the turret down and making sure that Yellowstar keeps down.
There's Cloud Templar coming in towards XPK, who will just arcade shift away to stay safe. However, Jarvan comes in, forces the flash there out of Cloud Templar, so that's no flash curse that he can pull off in the coming moments. And that bottom tower has stayed safe, just about 675 HP.
They're actually, I feel like Azubu is intentionally not killing the turret yet. They want that laning phase to last as long as possible because of how much Urgot is just destroying Misfortune right now. If they take the tower, it essentially ends that laning phase. And this is not your prototypical Lulu kind of Ezreal, shove the lane, take multiple turrets. It's a shutdown, and they're waiting for everyone else to get farmed up.
Just saw that again, Soaz putting some pressure down onto Shy, but with that Giant's Belt in there, doesn't do all that much, to be quite honest with you there. Middle lane, XPK does have the lead with the CS, but 94 to 36 in that bottom lane is an absolute disaster for Fnatic.
The only real hope they have at this point seems to be XPK and his Ezreal right now. 96 to 87 against Rapid Star's Rise, not that bad. He started tier, so he's stacking that up pretty fast. If they land a great Ezreal ult in team fights, he might be able to go and create something, because that's really all they have with how bad they're losing in the other lanes. Yeah. This is not close right now. They need to do something.
Top lane, we've just seen Olaf headed back home there again. We'll see what he picks up. Actually going in for those tier 1 boots, plus a Ruby Crystal. And he will be back in towards his lane. Sharpish. Actually tier plus double longsword in there for Kha'Zix in that top lane for Soaz. Bottom lane, that turret is still there. They've not done too much more damage to it, down to just below 300 HP currently. And that will continue to be so as the lights go off here in the stadium.
They might go in for something big bottom.
Yeah, here we go, the ultimate coming down, N-Rated being absolutely smashed up, and look at that bullet time. Well, it just doesn't really do that much, so Mad Life at half HP, Womb is above half still, and Yellowstar should be able to escape this one, but that will be another kill for this Urgot, who is fed, to say the least. 4-0-1.
And he's sitting on 3,500 gold right now. So when Woong and Mad Life finally decide to kill the tower and end that Fnatic bot lane's misery so they can go somewhere else, he's going to be an absolute monster on top of being a giant ugly crab.
Hopefully the music is not stream just in our ears and not for everyone to be heard there. I have no idea where that's come from. That's Urgot celebration music, because XPK is going to get caught out here in the middle. And, well, it wasn't even a contest. There were 3 of them there. They locked him down. Can't do anything about that one. That was XPK's first death, actually. But Fnatic here,
yikes.
I have to feel that they're almost bowing out without saying anything about it. Like, there's not a lot that they can actually do now in this game.
I hope this is their 50%, because if this is their 100%, they have a lot of work to do. The Dragon going down to Azubu right now is just making them fall farther and farther behind. There was a Warmogs that Woom just bought straight off the bat on Urgot. So this is a giant just bruiser team, and when that type of team pulls ahead of you this early, it's huge trouble. They're going for this kill top. Here comes Nezreal.
Ezreal ultimate coming in, will land as well. Rapid Star in trouble. This is going to be the first kill of the game for Fnatic. Cyanide taking a ton of turret damage. He's going to recall in that tri-bush, which should be fast enough. In fact, Amumu decided in the end not to come around. Soaz did tank a bit of that turret, but may actually be able to have that turret away here with this wave. Only 500 health on it.
That was the type of Fnatic coordination we saw so much of at IPL 5. The ult coming in from base, timing it with the double tower dive really paid off for them, but they've just been so constricted by the lane pressure and skill from the Azubu guys, they haven't been able to pull off those type of plays so far.
Bottom lane currently, as you said, Warmogs was picked up, and Elixir bought in there as well as that chamber, so Woom, well, he's a bit unstoppable now at this point. 128 to 54 CS. At this level of the game, you don't see those kind of differences very often.
It's almost like an Urgot lane that just goes absolutely perfect for you. It's a really frustrating shutdown lane if they can get going early, and because they took off the kill at level 2, they've just been able to take it from there. They've also done an amazing job at keeping the river warded and avoiding Cyanide's ganks.
So there, up at the top, Shy just throwing down the reckless swing, plus the undertow onto Soaz, taking about a third of his health away, which I'm sure he'll just kind of rinse and repeat until he can force Soaz somewhat away from this one. 123 to 107 CS in that lane. You need to keep an eye on this bottom lane, because it only needs that stun coming out of Madlife, who does now have his ultimate available as well. So, sorry, his flash available to flash in there and get that stun down. So, we have to keep an eye down on this one. But at the moment, Woom is charging the way. I mean, 4 kills, 2 deaths from his Fortune, 3 deaths for N-rated there on Leona as well. So just generally, Azubu, again, I said this about 1 million times already, but well-oiled machine comes to mind again.
And they're really ready for this Miss Fortune pick. I mean, at least from the OGN winner that's been happening, Miss Fortune gets picked in pretty much every game, so they're used to playing against her. And there's almost nothing better than this lane they have up right now. Just look at Woong, 134 armor with 2,400 health right now, as Shy gets taken low by Soaz in the top lane. Means Woong, they're just going to keep going top.
Oh, interesting stuff here. Cloud Temple actually getting right in there on towards Soaz. But does he have the damage to actually finish him off there? Ezreal is actually coming in the side. Meanwhile, Leona did go very low in this bottom lane. Jarvan coming in as well. Will get the knock-up onto Woong. Double up comes in as well, but Yellow Star could be in a bit of trouble. The damage turned around there onto Cyanide. They forced 3 of them away. And Soaz, in the end, didn't have any problems in this top lane anyway, so we didn't miss anything up there. But almost 25 to 18,000 gold lead now.
And to get back to the point bottom there, as they fought back 3 members of Fnatic, it's because of the effective health against armor that they have pretty much put together in the bot lane. It'll take about 5,000 damage worth of physical damage to kill Woong right now, and that's not even counting the shields he can get on, which against the team comp of Fnatic, which is mostly all physical damage, makes them nearly unstoppable at this point.
Let's have a look. More Giants belts coming in. 1 for Olaf, 1 for Amumu. That's a very tanky team. Obviously, we've already got the Warmogs down there on Urgot as well. So a Warmog count is definitely over.
It's 2-0. So the kills are 6-1, and the Giants belts are 3-0. So that's
4 even.
Is it?
2 Warmogs, 2 Giants belts.
Oh, I didn't see that. Shy is way ahead of everyone else, and he's got 2 for himself. So it's just a matter of, obviously when you're up by 6,000 or 7,000 gold, everything seems a little bit better, but I really have to compliment Azubu Frost on the Taric pick specifically against this. People completely underestimate the power of his auras. His W is giving everyone else 30 armor, which is pretty much everyone on your team takes 30% less damage from what Fnatic is throwing at them. It's really good.
Going down here as well from Azubu Frost in this top lane. Cyanide and Soaz both going to be spotted by that last one that went down. In the meantime, Woom and Cloud Templar are just pushing this middle turret a little bit. Shy is there as well. That was Yellow Star just going very, very low to Rapid Star. Yellow Star actually did have to use his cleanse and his flash to get away from that death.
Yellow Star just can't catch a break right now. He finally saw Woom had left the lane and he thought he was safe. Little did he know Rapid Star teleported down, came in from behind him and tried to kill him. So there's no escaping to find farm. Still just sitting on that one sad pickaxe. He's finally going to get a BF sword, but he's so far away from being relevant. This is decimation by Azubu.
And just that play there out of Amumu as well. Knows that he's probably not going to get in to get a kill onto Soaz in that top lane, but he's forced him away from that tower. And Shy able to take that one down. That will be tower number 2. In the meantime, 3 men in the middle lane as well as I say that, they push down the back and they will head down towards that dragon area. 19 minutes, 38 seconds that comes up, which around about 30 seconds from now, they're going to clear their bottom side of the jungle right in time for dragon.
So prepared, it seems. This is just a walk in the park for them at this point. They don't seem pressured. Everything execution-wise has worked out almost perfectly for Azubu Frost so far this game. Fnatic is really, really on their heels. As the Dragon's up, maybe they try some desperation play here to stop the Dragon, but it's almost too early to consider desperation from a time perspective, but from an actual game slipping away from you, it may already be gone. They need to try something.
Well, Dragon already down to below half HP, and just the presence of Shy and his mega health, actually gone for the cooldown boost as well there, needs to recklessly swing more often.
There's a lot of health bars on Azubu right now. 1 tick for every 100 health, and those are thick health bars right now.
Yeah, that's some real tankiness there. Blue buff here going to be given over onto XPK. But we talked about this before earlier on today, and more specifically yesterday, that from Fnatic's point of view, even if they feel this game is over, even if it may be over, they need to lose in the longest time possible. They need to hold on as long as they can, because it could still come all in the end down to a tiebreaker.
It could, but that would require Azubu Frost to lose to Absolute Legends Poland to create a 3-way 2-1 tie. That's, I think, the only way we'd get
lots of
that type of tie, but as Soaz is getting crushed by Shine top.
Yeah, just one reckless swing, one axe, and Soaz in a lot of trouble here. Look at the damage coming out of Shy. Great flash away, but how long is he going to last? Oh, he's got away from him. Soaz manages to escape, and I think Shy spotted them coming up here. Now he's the one that's in all kinds of trouble. Jarvan ultimate goes down. There is XQuick, a bit overkill maybe, but it's kill.
They had to get it. I mean, sure, overkill, but they are desperate to get anything giving them back an edge. The problem with that is Soaz was sent back to shop anyway. They put 2 people top lane to get that kill. They didn't gain any pressure from that, aside from the, in the grand scheme of things, minuscule amount of gold they got from that kill, 450 for the whole team, but they lose a tower for it, which is worth a lot more. So even though they made a good play, it cost them.
And they can't afford any more costs, to be honest.
No.
At this point, if you look at the goal, 33.6 to 23.7, pretty much a bang on 10,000 gold lead, which for 22 minutes into the game is a huge amount. And now we have Soaz once again in trouble. He thinks he's done a good thing here of jumping away. However, Madlife's gonna flash in there, gets the stun, and he is gonna get absolutely obliterated.
Ouch is pretty much what you say in those situations. This is very similar, for those of you who watched the North American LCS qualifier, the surprise team, their Team Martin, ran bruiser-centric comps much like this, and this is just one of the best teams in the world running the same thing, and it's devastating Fnatic right now.
Now Cyanide is in trouble here. Shy is coming in onto him. Right, one reckless swing, he's going to pick up the axe and throws it in just before Cyanide could slide away from danger, and that will be 8-2. Obviously, Urgot did get that one down in the bottom lane, and they have taken the inner turret as well. He is now 5-0-1. Glacial Shroud, Warmogs, Black Cleaver done. That's 3 Warmogs on the team, and that's a brilliant movie from Cloud Templar. They could end up getting more than one from this, and Raiden's going to be switched out. He'll actually go back in there, but it's not enough to save his life. He will die. Another kill for Woom, and this is another inner turret that's going to fall without anything Fnatic can do.
One of the cool things about running compositions like this, where everyone is just big and tanky, is anyone can just go wherever they want. In a sense, in a team fight, you just pick a target, and everyone goes. It's very simplistic in its execution, but I mean, I guess that's about it. I was gonna continue it, but it was too simple.
He's working, that's for sure.
Yeah.
5-0 in turrets, 10-2 in kills, 13,000 gold difference. Fnatic, yeah, to pick up a single tower. In fact, I don't think, okay, the top one's a little bit low. Middle one's got about half HP, but that's pretty much it from Fnatic in terms of anything. I mean, there's that 1 kill on Ezreal, a 1 kill on Jarvan, but if you look at the items, they're just a world behind.
And double Glacial Shroud coming out already. There's actually the teleport distortion boots on Rapid Star, so we've seen almost nothing but Home Guard recently. Instead, he's going for faster teleports more frequently, really just going with more pickoffs. Amumu can get pickoffs, Rapid Star, Woong, or Mad Life can all really just create fights whenever they want. They picked up the Oracles on Mad Life, however, clearing out Baron. If anything, they're just going to start hitting it, and if Fnatic comes to fight, they're going to Zerg into them and try to kill all of them.
So Temple there just getting a ward down in the top side of the jungle. Turret going through there as well. Does actually have that Oracle to clear out and know if he's been spotted. So as is here waiting for Shy, but it's not really a case of catching Shy out and killing him there, to be honest with you. Not quite got the power to get through exactly what Shy has got to offer there. Azubu all up in that Fnatic side of the jungle. No wards actually down on Baron from Fnatic. So there may be an opportunity here for Azubu to do something. Ryze is actually pushing over the other side. Teleport is available for him.
Frost should just start hitting the Baron, pretty much. They have enough tankiness, Taric sustain, all the armor they're getting. The Jarvan flag, by the way, gives them armor as well, so they're just huge monsters right now. That's a 3,000 health, 175 armor Urgot with a Black Cleaver that they have to worry about. And Fnatic is coming down for the fight here. Baron's not falling very fast because it is pretty much a team of tanks, but if a fight breaks out, Fnatic would get destroyed. If anything, they're going to try to steal it with XP's ult.
Yeah.
XPK's ult.
That's pretty much all they've got to come in. The stun goes down, here comes the ultimate, and it's too late there. Mad Life did get clipped by it, but, well, he's pretty much just healed it all up there in one go. And that is Azubu walking away with Baron, 42.8 to 27.9 thousand gold. A massive, massive lead. Not a single turret lost here by Azubu Frost. They are looking very good to maybe win this game in under 30 minutes.
And this is the fun part for them. Everyone's tanky, everyone has Baron. They got the increased damage from Baron given the AD and ability power. They're just gonna go as soon as they see an opportunity. Maybe Cloud Templar is gonna land a stun, or maybe it will just be Taric, but as soon as they start, they're gonna roll through Fnatic.
Well, they did get the stun down, but it was just as Kha'Zix had already jumped, but here comes Cloud Templar. He went in onto Yellow Star, used his cleanse, which could be crucial. Coming in, here we go, Switch coming down onto it. Okay, the bullet time comes across, Cloud Templar catches 3 of them in the Curse of the Sad Mummy and rated it. And taken out as well. There is Soaz falling. 2 of them left. Another brilliant bandage toss. Finished off this time by Ryze. And that leaves just Cyanide on Jarvan to attempt to defend what is left of this base. There's really not a lot of it left. And he actually just flashed away there onto the fountain to stay healthy as well. This inhibitor is going to go down. And Azubu, well, they're tanky enough to tank both of those turrets up here on the Nexus. And they're going to look for winning that game right here.
They're going to do whatever they want for the next 30 seconds, and then the game will be over. So they just crushed Fnatic, and it's really going to be now the next game between Fnatic and SK is going to decide who moves on in the group, because clearly Azubu Frost is the #1 team in this group with that stomp of Fnatic. Great job by them. 14-2, 20k gold lead in 27 minutes. Unreal.
Yeah, an absolute decimation there, I think we could call it, on Fnatic. And still, this well-oiled machine that I was talking about 300 times already today only is definitely well-oiled. And you can see there a little bit of emotion. I mean, that's fairly typical from Korean teams anyway. It's like, only celebrate when the job's really done, which for them is obviously another game still to play against absolute legends who, well, they could have a miserable time the way that Azubu Frost has been playing today.
Especially when you consider the way Fnatic beat absolute legends contrasted with the way Azubu Frost just beat Fnatic. That was really impressive.
Yeah, that was... It was a walkover for them. It was a walk in the park. It was almost as if...
Stroll.
Yeah, Fnatic didn't have anything to say about it. I mean, yeah, that can happen to the best teams, I suppose, when it really goes wrong early on. Urgot finishing 7-0 there, which, you know, I guess minutes to kills, he probably will have been disappointed that he only got 7 by the end of it, because he started off absolutely flying up to 4-0-3 or whatever it was. But they've done it, they've made no mistakes, or certainly very little ones that didn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
And at least for Fnatic, their strength is a lot in their team fighting and the way Soaz gets around and roams, but they lost the lane so bad, they never got to that point, as Woon gets a little bit of love from his manager there.
Face massage.
It's nice. You've been asking for a massage all day.
We actually got a massage from Jason yesterday after we cast him, which was nice as well. And speaking of Jason, we're going to throw it over there. They're going to break down that absolute victory from Azubu Frost.
I don't know, Joe. According to Reddit, I'm the guy on the left. I'm actually not even Jason, but wow. I am actually going to apologize because I thought that was going to be such more of a close game than it actually was. I wasn't expecting such a stomp, but you know, we can go ahead and talk about it, but there really isn't really much to analyze about that game.
It actually could have been an awesome game if it didn't go down on bot lane like it did. Fnatic had an interesting strategy. It could have worked out, but the bot stuff just decided the game really, really early, way too early.
Like the way bottom lane has become now in Season 3, it tends to settle down to whoever can push the hardest wins the lane. You push harder, you get those level advantage, you use that level advantage, you snowball it, you take control. And I mean, we're going to show in the replay, that first blood is a perfect example of that. We wouldn't hit level 2 first, they immediately initiated a fight. Okay, yellow star, hit level 2, almost as soon as the first attack landed. But they were already on the back foot from that. They just had to run, and with a very nice coordinated flash auto attack just to make sure he had low enough health. We'll manage to pick up that first blood. But from there, as Susan said, that was the game. They just kept that advantage going. They just snowballed it through. They just made it stronger. They just kept going on the bottom lane, and Fnatic could not find another opening. Top lane, Olaf is ridiculously strong early against Soaz's Kha'Zix we saw, so couldn't really do much to that. He would have just died. It would have been 2v1 in the gank. By the time Soaz was strong enough to really compete, it was too late because bottom lane was 4 kills up or something ridiculous. So it's a nice try from Fnatic. They tried something new. They brought back Jungle Jarvan, which I love the idea of, but not quite ready this time. So we'll jump into the replay.
Well, hold on. Before we do that, we got to give a little bit of context because this is where the game was actually decided. We were talking about like, just straight up. This is the game. 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, 0-0, 3.3 thousand gold to 3.1. I mean, that's when the game actually was decided. Let's go ahead and go into that replay, and you can explain why.
At this point, it's just that Tarek and Urgot, they pushed a bit harder than the opponents, and both people will at level 2 at the same time, while only Misfortune levels up for Fnatic. Actually, I'm sorry, Tarek doesn't level up, but it doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah, Tarek doesn't even need to. And Rated, if I remember correctly, he did start with his Q, so he got that stun off, but it was just too little too late.
Leona Misfortune can actually do fairly well against Urgot Tarek, but at this point, like the exact moment where Urgot hits level 2, he's like the biggest threat on this lane. At this point, and after 6, when Ryze teleport, Urgot swaps can do like major ganks. But this is like the only timing where you actually should stay back and be a bit careful. And they executed it kind of sloppy. N-rated stunned Tarek instead of stunning Urgot, who doesn't have cleanse and is the only damage output at this point, which shows they were really confident to survive this and actually died, and this ruins the lane extremely hard.
Well, I took some notes during that game, and at 11-minute mark, we actually had, it was Urgot with about 100 CS compared to Misfortune with 30. That kind of explains it right there. I mean, that bot lane completely lost Chat Joe. We're talking about the entire time. There's no way they can come back from that. Even if they send Jarvan down there, it's going to turn into a triple kill for Frost. And the top lane pick, you were mentioning that earlier. We did see the same matchup before. We saw it yesterday, and we saw that actually Kha'Zix was winning the lane completely. However, once that giant belt hit, John was mentioning, that's when it completely shifted. However, we didn't get to that.
Yeah, it was just behind. I mean, 11-minute mark again, you mentioned it. Urgot is on 94 CS, Misfortune's on 36. Olaf's on 92 CS. So he's doing a little bit better on 68, but he's still that little way behind. He's starting to get some items out now. He's got a tier, he's starting to build that brutalizer, but there's giants built on Olaf, and Olaf just kept going, and he getting more health. And we joke about it, we mentioned it a couple of times before, but Korean showed it. Warmogs. There was 3 of them by 12-minute mark, just Warmogs and Warmogs and Warmogs. And as we mentioned, Urgot, because he snowballed that bottom lane, because he got so rich, he saved up and he didn't go back till he about 3,600 gold, and he just outright bought a Warmogs. And then
why not? Why
never
not?
died. just didn't die from that point. It's a really good item. It's incredibly cost efficient right now. Great stats for how much it costs. Arguably does need a couple of changes here and there, but while it's in the game, you got to use it. And
Yeah, you always
using
play
it
the
to its-
overpowered stuff.
Yeah, Alex, we just play broken heroes. But it works. They played this to perfection, as Jazz said. Very little mistakes. There were a couple. There always will be a couple. No one's perfect. But the mistakes they made didn't lose them the game. They were too far ahead at that point. It's a shame Fnatic couldn't put up a stronger fight, but it does set us up for an incredible next match between Fnatic and SK.
Yep, and actually, because Azubu Frost won this game, because they won this game, the decider of who actually moving along with them would be the winner of SK and Fnatic. So Azubu Frost will be playing against Gambit Gaming tomorrow, and then the winner of this next match we're going to have is going to be playing against Azubu Blaze. I mean, who do you really want to go up against? I mean, Gambit obviously had a slow start yesterday, but there's still a really good team deep down inside.
Kinda want it to be Fnatic, just so we have a rematch of that IPL fight. They played there, Fnatic won. Blaze are going to try and get their own back. If Fnatic come out second in the group, that's what's going to happen. But that being said, SK are looking very impressive now. We've said before, they're scrimming other teams. Everyone's saying they're really strong. Crepo, as we mentioned before, and other players on Twitter now agreeing that SK are strong enough to beat Fnatic right now. And I want to see it happen.
I love to see Fnatic going on because they're like some of my favorite players, and also I love a rematch between Blaze and Fnatic.
Yeah, I bet you Blaze wants that revenge for that IPL 5 where Fnatic, I mean, just decimated all of these, all these Asian teams, I'll say, because it was Korean, it was Tepe Assassins. And hopefully we'll be, potentially going to see that. But, the next thing coming up, we've seen a lot of people tweeting at us that, well, for instance, Crepo, XCLG, he's saying that SK, with the way they've been playing, the way they've been training, they should be able to win this game.
If Fnatic is gonna go AP Israel again and sticking to the same tactic because they don't want to reveal anything, SK has a really good shot. If they play how they usually play, I would think Fnatic has the upper hand.
I'd like to see what Fnatic do against Ocelot at the moment. Twice we've seen him today running teleport on 2 very, very different mid lane champions. He likes to have that mobility, it would seem. He likes to be able to get around the map, help his teammates out wherever they are, just with a quick ward placement and a CP. Can be quite tricky to handle if you're not expecting it. We saw, in fact, in this very game, Rapid Stout running teleport on Rise, and it did catch Fnatic out a couple of times down in that bottom lane from that. So if SK are doing the same thing and Fnatic can't lock down the teleport, they can't control Ocelot, that can snowball the game straight out on its own. So it's not going to take much to tip the scales, but again, they still say they've been training a lot. They've got a couple of things up their sleeve. So I'd like to think teleport, it's been around for a while. Teleport mid lane strategies are not new. So I'm hoping they'll be able to put up a good fight against that.
Well, Charu from yesterday, Mitra Maker's perfect example of that. I mean, versus Blaze, ran that teleport on his Karthus, would come up behind the enemy team and just, with that home guard boots, would just catch them off guard. It can always work really well. However, the downside, you don't use it, it can always be like a wasted summoner spell. But these teams, they have a good handle on it, and I'm sure we'll see hopefully an exciting match. But what I'm really curious about is where the key players going to come from for these teams.
It's hard to say. For me, it's mainly interesting what XP is going to do, if he's going to stick to the Israel thing, and if they're going to give Kale to Ocelot, because I think that's the best pick he can do right now. And in my opinion, it comes down to mid lane, first of all.
I think Fnatic's got to go down to, if they play April Israel again, they have to make sure that works again. If that doesn't, they're going to fall apart. Or more importantly, after this game, their bottom lane needs to perform a lot better in the next game if they stand any chance of sticking in it.
All right, well, guys, that is it for us. We'll be back with the next match, but we're going to go ahead and go to the stage and give you another post-match interview.
Yes, thanks very much, guys. Here joining us on the stage now is Mad Life support for Azubu Frost. Congratulations, well played. You guys seem to be completely in tune with each other. What practice does it take to have that kind of team play?
정말 게임 잘하시고 지금 어떻게 연습하는지 연습 어떻게 하는지 하루 몇 시간 하고
일단 저희 팀은 블레이즈 팀과 프로스트 팀 두 팀 체제로 항상 체계적인 연습 시간에 따라서 스크림을 항상 하고요. 그리고 효율적인 회의 같은 거를 통해서 서로 아는 정보를 공유하고 이런 정보를 또 스크림에서 대입하면서 그런 효과적인 방법으로 지금 연습하고 있습니다.
Well, because Azubu Blaze and Azubu Frost, they live together, and so they practice a lot against each other, and they are trying out always different spreads, and they talk about the game, what can the opponent play, and they try it out, and that's why they actually improve by time.
Okay, thank you. Looking back to that game against Fnatic, it seemed very easy for you guys. You seemed to win pretty much as you wanted to do, but you were playing a very big top team, but you made them look very, very average. How did you do that?
되게 쉽게 이겼잖아요. 그거 어떻게 생각하는지요?
일단 푸나틱 경기를 최근 경기를 먼저 다 보고 그리고 저희 감독님과 코치님과 함께 분석하면서 이번 경기를 어떻게 할까 그런 전략을 매우 준비해서 이렇게 경기를 펼치게 되는데 아마 그런 준비력 때문에 저희가 이번 경기를 쉽게 이긴 것 같아요.
Well, actually, they prepared for this game against Fnatic. Their coach and the two coaches, they actually were like observing Fnatic and checking what they are playing, how they play, and because of that kind of observing and like checking out the other team, I think that's one of the reasons why they won this game pretty easy.
Okay, looking forward to the next round because you're pretty much through the next round. Do you want to play Azubu Blaze in the grand final, or do you want to play them in the semi-final?
아zubu 블레이즈랑 결승전에서 만나고 싶어요? 아니면 4강에서 만나고 싶어요?
저희 블레이즈 팀은 4강이 아니라 결승에서 만나야 더 빛을 발하는 팀이라서 결승에서 만나고 싶어요.
Well, they want to meet Azubu Blaze in the grand final, and yeah.
All right, well, best of luck, ladies and gentlemen. Mad life, support for Azubu Frost. Thank you very much, guys. They're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back very shortly with more action from League of Legends. But first up, let's just take a little trip down memory lane. The Intel Extreme Masters, of course, is a series of tournaments all around the world. No more so than the fabulous Singapore.